Hi, I'm Regina, and you are you. And so, welcome to Trans Voices of Love and Kindness. Once again, here it is, Sunday already. And oh, my stars, we just have an amazing show for you today. We are going to talk about RESPECT. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And enough of that. So I hope y'all know who Aretha Franklin is, and I hope y'all went and saw that movie. They did a life story. Jennifer Hudson played the lead in it, and it was fabulous. Fabulous. I really enjoyed it. But when I got to the theater, I was appalled at how few people there were in there. So anyway, we're brought to you by Raise Rose Coffee, which I'm the sole proprietor of. And we're drinking one of my newer coffees today, a Nicaraguan, and it's a varietal where the variety of that coffee, the plant itself, originated in Ethiopia, and it's a unique kind of flavor going on here in this, and so I've been enjoying that, and one of my vendors is now going to start featuring it in their drip coffee. So anyway, enough of that. The channel, all the channel stuff. Like us, please give us some likes and give us some views, comments, after the fact. If you watch this later, say yay, say nay, and one of us will surely get to you. But try and make sure you're notified of when I kind of have a plan in the back of my head on some of these dark, dreary days to start doing a little upload every once in a while, short, kind of like everybody else does, and but not TikTok short. Not a TikToker. Anyway, that's that. And so I should bring Casey on to talk about Dreams into Reality, her comic strip, because she does such a wonderful does such a wonderful job with. I forgot I had that there. Duh. I don't know. I can't remember everything. My memory is getting so bad. Anyway, I remember that I have two co-hosts. Oh, look at this. I love that. Hey, check this. We got this going on. That is really, really super cool. And here comes my friend Casey to chat it up a little bit.
Hi, I'm Casey. I am writer, creator, and graphic designer for Dreams into Reality Comics, as you see. It is a webcomic about my transition and how it affects those around me. And we work hand in hand with Raise Roast, as you can see here. We're kind of an unofficial sponsor. And a lot of the artwork you'll see is from Dreams into Reality. And stop on by, check it out. It's a great comic. I've got like 20 almost 30 subscribers, I think, and we're getting there.
Indeed, you are. And now let's bring Lara on and make this our complete deal today.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be back here. I missed you all last week so much. What a wonderful show, I want to say, you had last week. I really and thoroughly enjoyed watching it after. So how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah. We're good. So So let's give ourselves a little respect, huh? What do you think?
Oh, sure.
Oh,
How about all the respect in my heart for both of you and everyone who might come and visit us in the chat room today. And out to the world.
well, I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
Since we're a love and kindness kind of channel, I think that respect is something that kind of fits right in to be talked about a little bit. I just want to say I think that everybody deserves a certain amount of respect until they prove to me that they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
That's when I quit respecting people, but they can always earn it back by proper behavior, I guess. The thing that will get your respect is like the four agreements, and be integral in your word and be honest, and keep going with the four agreements there, whatever the other two are. But you get the drift. I mean, the integrity of our word is a good way of gaining more and more respect and whatnot. And so, do you guys have any differing opinions, or you just concur everything that I say? Come on,
No,
let's get a conversation going here.
I had to let you finish.
In that, like, yes and no. It's an interesting thing, respect. Because just like with the love and kindness, respect is also one of those things that I think at least should be universally given to everybody at a basic level. I respect you as another human being. I respect you as another entity that's going to interact with me in some way. But then on top, above and beyond that, respect should be earned. So like I will still have the same level I'll still give the same basic respect to the President of the United States as I would somebody who a felon or some someone who people see, or a fast food worker.
Hold it. That's funnier than all get out, because our president is oftentimes a felon too. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Get right up in the screen here and listen to this now. Are you gonna take the counter side of that, Regina?
No, I'm done. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought it was funny though.
But both sides, they're both human beings. They're both people who I share space on this planet with. And so in that respect, they themselves get that basic level of respect. Above and beyond that, the fast food worker, if you make my burger wrong, I'm not gonna respect you less. I might like you a little less. But like, if the president goes and botches up something, I'm gonna have a little less respect for you because you're supposed to be a person of authority, but I'm still not going to lose so much respect that I fall below that basic level. It's just, if we're gonna throw numbers into this, let's everyone gets 20% basic level of respect. Anything above and beyond that, up to 100, is earned. So if someone messes up, makes a mistake or gives me a reason to not respect them anymore, that's going to bring that number down closer to 20. But in my eyes, it's never going to go beyond 20, because that makes me the same kind of person that these other people are. These that don't respect us are, don't respect the fact that we're living human beings as well. And so like, they'll start to call me names if I get below that level. It's the same with love and kindness. Everyone deserves a certain level of it, but anything above and beyond is earned.
Well, to kind of tie into both of what you're talking about, I have questions more than answers, really. Can anybody take respect? My answer is no. And how much respect should I give? Well, depends on how I view respect, what my concept of respect is. Can someone take it away? Can someone give respect? It wasn't theirs to take away, in my opinion. I'm a little bit with you on that sense that there's a certain level of it for me. And if a person has so many personal flaws that have hindered their view of the world to a point where they're unable to see me, unable to accept me, I have a choice then. I mean, I will respect that person. So they have a different view than me. But do I have to be around that person? Well, you know what? 50 years ago, I really didn't have a choice because maybe everybody in the community was of the same mind. And I was the only one maybe who didn't feel that way as them. So that's a difficult thing. That's way more difficult than it is today, because the three of us can sit here today and have an open discussion about respect in this case. And I don't have to necessarily live with all the people around me disrespecting me in the many ways that people do. So
let's take this definition here that Simone put up, and a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. I really kind of think that falls a little bit short of what we're talking about, because it's like when you go to the grocery store and there's that person with one item and you've got a shopping cart full, is about, the kind, loving, respectful thing to do would be let that person with one item go in front of you. And the other respectful thing to do is to get out of the fast lane and go to one of those that's set up more. And so the people that are in a hurry, and that's just basic levels of respect. I mean, I think it's really a good thing to define what the hell we're expecting, and this kind of gets us started here. Oh, mercy me, because it is like that. If we're love and kindness, let's show respect with love and kindness. What were you going to say, Casey?
Oh, I was just going to say that what Lara was talking about there is kind of the quote that I've got up. It's kind of a similar. They kind of play into each other, at least what I could see. basically it's like
Maybe we should just get you to post it so we can see what it is.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh dear. So you know what? I wanted to mention something about what I got my finger out today because that you brought up was the fact that if we let our percentage fall below 20%, and that's a pretty arbitrary number, but if we fall into that same category as someone else, then we have dropped out of that love and kindness kind of area too. I mean, everybody should get a basic respect, and if they treat us poorly, doesn't necessarily give us carte blanche to treat them poorly either. Just when nobody's looking, and you can get away with it, wipe them out. But I'm not professing that. I didn't really even say that, but it's not very respectful. And it's just the mood I'm in. I mean, it would be fair if somebody would call me bitch today,
Well, where does respect come from at its core? What is it supposed to be about? So, someone shared it has some of its qualities are held in the thing that she said. And some of the qualities of respect are held in the things that you've mentioned, and you, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the core value of that we need to try and drill down into with respect? Can we really give it or can we really take it? Can we really expect it? Can we so I'm driving down the road yesterday and I let someone pull out. So I kind of stopped short of an entrance and let that person pull out. I had to wait at a light anyways. I don't know that that person deserves any respect at all, but I just did it. And that person didn't wave at me or acknowledge that I did that for them. They just pulled out. Is it because they were in a hurry or because they are the kind of people who really don't have any respect for anybody and just expect things from them, like respect?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it because that person maybe just was in a hurry to go and do something that was really, maybe they had a tragedy in their family. They're really preoccupied.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they need me to respect them. And that little act of kindness changed their world that day. And I will never know because I couldn't talk to them.
Well, it goes back to this. Is it respect or is it mindfulness?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no difference between you stopping to let a car out of a driveway or the shopping cart scenario. Is
that
mindfulness, respect as well?
Well, something drives us to want to display a certain kind of or amount of respect.
Hey, Bob Box.
Oh.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you today. Glad you dropped by.
Oh dear, love it, Francie.
I unfortunately have to disagree with that because that's just not how I personally see respect.
Which are you disagreeing with? Which statement?
The quote by Jack Handley that Francie just had. I don't really agree with that.
Right.
I automatically.
But the thing is, did she mean it in a joking way? And we are sensitive sometimes, and we took it in the way you just displayed.
Yeah, I understand the joke of it. I completely appreciate the joke of it. I just now moving into a more realistic standpoint, I disagree. because it goes back into that. It goes against my personal belief of, that basic 20%, that basic level. This is saying that someone has
it's
to
almost
beg.
like it's almost like implying that we can give respect, we can take respect. It's kind of implying that I have the power to take respect from a person's actions.
I
But
kind
I
of
really can't. I don't know. I can see we're going to be. This is complicated. Oh my God. I hope we don't get mad at each other through these things.
let me shoot in here for a second, because one of the things that I wanted to get to, and this is a good lead into that, would be the lack of respect that is shown on like the social media sometimes when people start arguing about anything. And has been the big turnoff lately, to social media, and like many people are bailing off of social media because it's so disrespectful and so vicious and whatnot. And so how come that didn't come up? Did you take that down, Casey?
Yeah. Just for a moment to so I don't phase out on people.
So yeah, I mean that's the way I'm seeing it. It's just common courtesy to each other to be a little bit respectful, and I'm the bitch that's always talking about unity, and how we need unity. Well, if we're disrespectful on social media, if we're disrespectful any place, how do we ever get back to unity? I mean, being able to survive in our local communities, be recognized as a human being instead of us versus them. I mean, that's really what it all comes down to, is about respect, is us versus them, in our daily lives. So and how do we get unity out of that? How do we make our lives work and progress towards doing things together to furthering, mankind in a positive way, in a spiritual way, without all the overtones of that, but how do we do this? Let's start with respect. Let's start with love. Let's start with kindness.
But it has to start with me or you or you. I can't expect it from other people. If we go out in the world, wherever our lives are taking us, and we act in accordance with our own core values, if those core values are love and kindness, truth and honesty, and all those good attributes, then there's a chance that people will respond to us with a certain kind of respect that's common to all people at the core. But if we don't start with ourselves, then we're certainly not going to change this world in the way that you're envisioning, Regina. It's like you got last week. You were the topic you had. They just finished a summit yesterday, and they last minute changed some things to try and accommodate others, so they could get everybody to sign on it, the dotted line, for an agreement of some kind. But the thing is, there was a lot of people there who weren't being listened to, that aren't being respected. What drove that agreement? Money, not respect. As long as we value money more than respect of people, respect of life, we're going to be at loggerheads with the very thing that you're trying to promote. There's always going to be us against them in that world.
Mhm.
But I can tell you this, there's a lot of more people in the world that are on the side that we're trying to steer towards today than there was yesterday. Oh, Simone, too complicated. My brain is hurting. Ouch. Well, you know what? It may be, but we have to. We just have to keep putting our best foot forward. Hello, Sarah.
Well, that's really all we can do is keep putting our best foot forward. But we have to know why we need to keep putting our best foot forward. The only way to really keep the ball rolling in a forward motion is to talk about it.
Yeah, well,
and that's what we're for. Is to
don't be
we
fearful.
don't have answers. We have questions, and so. How do we do this? How do we do that? Well, we be mindful. I love the thing about mindfulness that Simone put up here, a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Well,
yes, I love that.
You could easily work respect into that too. So I don't really see much difference between mindfulness and respect, because up here a ways,
one begets the other, right?
Respect, a feeling of deep admiration. Well, we've already kind of wiped out the deep admiration. We don't need deep admiration for the person, that's walking down the street that we see a mud puddle and we swerve around the mud puddle so we don't splash them, right? Mm-hmm. That's respect for that person's well-being. And
that's just a human decency that we can nurture in ourselves. It comes back to me, my choices. I can just choose to, I'm in too much of a hurry and drive right through that mud puddle because I need to get to where I need to go and screw everybody. Or I can go through my day with a respect of myself. And this.
So now you bring to mind the self-centeredness of most of us, or are we being mindful? So as a alcoholic, I'm very self-centered. If I'm not careful, I can make every word out of my mouth or every sentence out of my mouth start with me or I or whatnot. The thing about it is being mindful to help others, and we get freedom from the bondage of self by helping others and doing for others and being respectful and mindful of others. It's not, we need self-respect. This is how we get self-respect, by helping others, by avoiding that mud puddle. I gain respect for myself because I was mindful.
Well, now that I'm sitting here still looking at Simone's little comment about respect, I had a career in surveying. It started, I got a job, and there was it's a corporation I got the job with, a local one, but a corporation. Lots of people working there. And I immediately developed a sense of respect for the boss, the owner of the company. And that person kind of earned it because I needed some help, and that boss wasn't below helping me. He came and jumped in a ditch and helped me do my job. And when I asked him, you shouldn't be doing that, I remember saying to him, my God, you're the boss. What are you doing down in the ditch there helping me? He said, well, it needed to be done, and I was the one who was here. He didn't put himself above or below me. He just he showed me respect for who I was and what I was doing. The lowest guy in the totem pole in the company. I only just started there. Well, it seems to me in my mind that that's exactly what Simone's kind of talking about. I developed after that a deep admiration for him because whenever I thought about him, that little act of humility that he had,
Mhm.
elicited by his abilities, his qualities, and his achievements. Well, no matter what his achievements were, he got down there in the ditch and helped me, even though he was, the one way up here. I could put him on a pedestal, but I didn't have to. I think we need to look at each other eye to eye and see each other as people. And that's where respect kind of develops from in a healthy way. The kind of respect that I give a person who's acting more powerful than me because they think in their head they are, those are the dangerous people because they're the ones who can hurt us in so many different ways.
Mhm.
You know, that boss should be able to get down on the ground where we are doing whatever we are. We shouldn't be looking up at them and we shouldn't be looking down at others. And respect is about that balance of, in my mind, it is kind of about that uh, having humility, having other core values in our lives that guide us with that love and kindness that you're talking about.
Because in reality, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, you can't really have one without the other. If I'm missing any one of my core values like love and kindness and respect, I'm probably not going to be very good at respect or humility. I'm probably not going to be very good at honesty, where I allow myself to see others in a good way. I'll probably only see the negative ways, or whatever it is that I'm hurting inside from, or the things I'm going to see in others. And
Mhm.
it might cause me to lash out at them. I'm certainly not going to respect them. Maybe they're trying to deal with it much better than me, and they're struggling too. Or they're struggling, one or the
Well,
other.
at certain times we all struggle, and let me take off on the aside here. Unity will never be achieved as long as a group hold to a sense of privilege, demanding respect over others whom they willfully malign. And amen.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what
amen.
we're here trying to
That's what we're trying to talk
change
about.
is that
Yeah.
we're all, there is no privilege class, there is nothing. I am not going to say sir to a police officer or a judge or any of those people. They're human beings just like me, and I have refused since the 70s or the 60s, and I continue to refuse. I get freaking in trouble, and I do not beg for those motherfuckers to pardon me. Anyway, I digress. But also up here, where was that? It was just respect as civilized behavior. I love that. Where'd that one that Simone go? There. Do I want unity with my enemy? I don't care about whether everybody that I want unity, they can be my enemy. All we have to do is be able to sit at the table and come up with a plan that is good for all of us, them and me included. We don't all have to agree on every dang thing. It's not necessary for unity.
Well, that involves both sides having a basic respect. That
Exactly.
if you don't
Exactly.
have that, I mean, how there then how can you even go forward?
So how do we move up to having a unified voice? It's like in our world of trans folk, we don't all agree on stuff. But if
Well,
we would be able to unify enough to form a front
Mhm.
and actually gain some power rather than fragmentized little groups here and there, which have absolutely zero power. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about when I talk about unity. Those are the things I want. I want us to like hold hands regardless of anything, so that we can be a voice, so we can be that trans voice to fit in. You know, it's simple.
You know, the day that it doesn't matter whether we're trans or gay or lesbian or black or white. Casey, you talked about this last week, but the day we don't see those differences, like in the way that the world sees them today, is the day that we'll be able to have that simple respect for everybody. And the labels that people apply, that comes from what Ash is talking about, the privileges that certain sectors of our societies kind of demand from that society. We live in that society. So if the present society demands that there's only men and women and there's nothing in between, and if the current society decides that certain races of people aren't as smart as others, then there's not going to be no respect there. There's always going to be a sense of privilege of some over others. They're not going to be eye to eye. We're not going to be eye to eye. We're not going to be seen. We're going to be dismissed. And here in this group, no matter what anybody says in the chats as far as having an opinion, if it's shared in a very respectful way, I can be open to allowing that in my circle. I don't have any trouble at all. I've built my relationship in my family, with my partner, on that ability to even disagree at times and still be happy together.
But it's not that way everywhere.
Well, no, but it's like that.
You know, but no, I get it, because I live in a pretty good space, and when I talk to others, you know, and they say, well, I can't find a doctor there that'll treat trans people, and I'm going, what? Why is that?
So it's hard to even fathom. A doctor can't allow themselves to treat a trans person because they simply don't believe that.
Yeah, and it's that way in the majority of this country.
Yeah.
You know, these little pockets like where I live are the exception rather than the rule. And it's hard for me to get my head around that.
I don't know. I think we can talk about it today, though. We couldn't probably, you know, Christ, when in the 50s and 60s, could we even have this conversation like we're having now? As who we are?
Probably not, but
no.
You know, I mean, it's kind of beside the point.
Maybe, yeah. Is it time for a quote or a nice little meme to?
Sure.
Is it okay?
Right on, Francie. Yeah. No, that's the kind of thing that we're talking about, is when people are abusive towards us, but we still have to keep a certain level of respect. Otherwise, we're no better than them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what this quote here in particular speaks exactly about that.
So, you got it here. And
yeah. If they respect you, respect them. If they disrespect you, still respect them. Do not allow the actions of others to decrease your good manners because you represent yourself and not others. That's exactly it. If someone is disrespecting you, being abusive, verbally disrespecting, that level of earned respect is you're glad to that's okay, because there's some kind of clash. But you can't, like you said, Regina, you can't fall below that basic level of respect, or else we're no better than them.
Yeah.
Because we are representing ourselves. We are showing other people what kind of person we are. And if we're showing them that we're just like this jerk over here or that jerk over there, then they're not going to respect us. They're not, and for some people, they're not even going to give us that basic level. If they see even an iota of us doing anything wrong, they're going to wipe out all respect, down to zero. So, in order to help bring on the unity, we have to continue to represent ourselves in such a way that we are not seen as people who don't deserve the basic level of respect.
I like how this points out that it's the actions that are the issue rather than the individual and their humanness, like their core. We should have a core, and it says like we should keep still have respect for them. It's their actions that we find objectionable, not who they are as a person per se.
Exactly.
At least if I'm understanding it right, that's how I'm kind of interpreting it. I agree with that.
You are?
Yeah, well, I agree with it. I think some people, early on in my sobriety, there was a lot of talk about actions rather than, what define us are as a person and how I react to people. And when I'm having troubles with them, it's their actions that are the problem, not the person. So kind of helped me put them in a different light. I was one old timer used to say, put a 6 sign on them and realize that their actions are coming from their own pain or their own suffering or their own inadequacies. If they're hurtful, if they're unkind, if they're exhibiting a lack of respect for people, doesn't mean that so what I found was I was able to see that person with, you said a base level of respect. It allowed me to see that person as human. And that's what's lacking in this world. There's so many, like certain religions, and it's not really the religion that's the problem. It's the people that are practicing it and how they view that religion. So this religion is the only way. And if you don't follow that way, well, then you're not.
You're less.
You're less than. And that's not true. I don't see that today. I see so many different people from so many different cultures with absolutely incredibly beautiful ways of looking at the world. I can easily have respect for their core principles because they're the same as mine at the end of the day. That when I see that, no matter where you come from.
So I want to just ask the question is, who the hell wants to permanently mute us?
Not us. We certainly aren't. You can keep saying, you keep speaking, please.
I don't know. I'm about done. Is it worth it to respect ourselves rather than letting other people disrespect us just to maintain their affection towards us? Well, that's a real interesting question.
Oh God, that one like hurts right now when I think about it. I spent my whole life seeking approval from everywhere around me. It wasn't until I stopped seeking approval from everybody around me and started looking to approve of myself.
Well, I kind of think that's almost a whole show on its own.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, that's a difficult thing. I don't love those people any less, but I stopped seeking it from them, their acceptance. And some of them didn't even notice that I left the scene. But others, they did notice. Those are the ones that came back to me. It's funny though, I spent my whole life chasing it, never getting it, never being fulfilled in it.
So I love this statement. That is why I'm my own boss.
Yeah. Awesome.
So well, you know, that's changing the world right there, is because if we can't get the respect that we deserve, be your own boss. Hell, I'm my own boss. I always, you know, some of us are just kind of geared that way. And oh, Simone.
That right there, Simone.
After this, girl. So,
but see, Simone, that's exactly what we're talking about. Like,
yeah, I still respect you, Regina, no matter what mood you're in.
Yeah, because we respect her as a human being.
Oh my stars!
I respect you as a person, but I may not necessarily respect your mood or your habits or this or that. But I still respect you. Your action is lacking in the respect, and that's the blurry line.
There is a distinct lack of respect in this woman's comments here.
No, there isn't, Regina. She's saying it with the utmost love and kindness in her heart.
This one, I'm not newsflash. Regina needs to be bossy. I'm not sure she's doing that out of kindness. We digress. Oh my. I mean, wow. What an interesting concept, though. I mean, we've covered lots of different aspects of this, and you got any more memes? You just put another one up, didn't you?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, there.
Somebody mentioned something about this earlier. I think it was either Simone or Ash.
Mm-hmm.
Something about being polite. I don't remember who it was, but this is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is more. It's definitely more. It's that I had it. I just had it. It was there.
The act of just being polite in a way kind of suggests to me that I'm really not showing a lot of respect if I'm just being polite, because I'm not. I don't know what that could mean a lot of different things to me. I mean, I was polite to. I could be polite to a lot of people out of fear of retribution or other things. That's not respect from
but a
me.
lot of polite manners and whatnot we use out of respect for the people around us. It's like when we ask each other to limit the profanity in a conversation, you know, that is generally a thing of respect for others who might be offended. You know, is it manners or is it respect?
No, so I don't think I'm any further along after almost an hour already for us talking about it. I don't know.
You know, you should be the one who's furthest. No, I mean, we should all be further along in respect is kind of the point I was trying to get to there. Because here we are talking about it, you know. I mean, I think that I've
you're right.
did it a little bit, but I don't think that I was very disrespectful most of the time before. You know,
what this does is this heightens our awareness of it. So now, going forward, now it's going to be on the forefront of your mind as to the amount of respect you're giving to someone. Because beforehand, it was just subconscious thought. It was just always back there. But now that we've had this in-depth discussion, it's up front, and we're going to think about it a little bit more.
Right.
It's going to be what is that called? What do they call it? Second nature. It's going to, we're going to think about it more. We're going to dissect and evaluate every single situation that we're in, or that we're going to be in, or that we've been in, and we're going to now look and see, okay, well, was I being respectful here? Yeah, okay, okay, well, what about this one? I could have been a little bit more. What about this one? No, this one I was a total bitch. No. And that's going to be, it's now in the forefront and less likely to drop onto the back burner now.
Well, I would like to agree with you, but and then there's this.
What's this?
Many trans people are polite in order not to create conflict when being disrespected. Well, this is like the fact that we don't want to be, these other folks are already disrespectful, and we don't want to be disrespectful back, because then we're just the same as they are. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm like that. I'm guilty of that, Simone. Yeah. I will sometimes simply be polite to avoid conflict or being disrespected. But the truth is, it doesn't change the fact that that person is probably disrespecting me as I'm doing that. And I'm not really achieving anything. I'm condoning those actions, actually, by not doing anything about it. Or maybe I'm not supposed to do anything about it. Maybe I need to look at myself. I always come back to the actions and my motives.
But, if we fall to their level and go ahead and jump into the conflict, what separates us?
Nothing. Then we're right there with them, reacting or whatever.
Exactly.
We're not really a part of the solution in that case. We're just prolonging.
Exactly. And that's the hard part, is to keep from dropping into the fray. That it takes more courage to stay out of the conflict than it does to get in it.
To turn the other cheek, as one of those old sayings are,
Yeah, I always shudder when I think of turning the other cheek, because that's, kind of comes from that Christianity thing. But you're absolutely right, Lara. I'm not a big fan of that phrase, but
I'm with you about that too. But it's a phrase people would understand, and wide audience. But I don't always agree with those phrases, because they conjure up just like what you just said to me.
rather than turning the other cheek, just turn your back and walk away.
Yeah.
You don't have to stand there and take more fucking abuse. Oh, pardon my language. But
don't be another link in the chain is another way I think of it. So
yeah,
I just unhinge myself from that situation. I remove myself from that situation. I'm not turning the other cheek. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm more like going in the opposite, in a different direction.
right.
And,
Yeah. We don't have to subject ourselves to disrespect, but we don't have to stand there and take it either.
No. It's just back to like when we first started. So if you're living in a place where the majority of the people are consciously disrespectful to you, it's going to be pretty hard for you to find a safe place to just be who you are, for example. So that makes life really difficult for someone who wants to have a core value of respect for everyone. There's always going to be they're always going to be beating it out of you, and you're always going to be struggling with finding something good about that person because everywhere you go, it's going to feel negative, stressful, fearful, shameful. You see, it comes back to the emotions too for me, what it evokes inside of me. And that's where I find difficulty at times with respect. I could feel justified in disrespecting that person, out of a lot of different reasons. That person hurt me too much, and I can't respect that person. Well,
So
if I can't respect them at all, I can't respect myself.
Let's look at this comment here. I'm betraying myself. Am I betraying myself by continuing respect towards an abusive coworker / boss? That's an interesting question.
Well, that's what I was just talking about, in a way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's exactly what I was kind of alluding to. So I have exactly that same thing, Francie. There's a coworker. Actually, it's interesting. A thing like that happened a week before I retired. It led to me retiring early. Rather than staying there and putting up with that coworker's abuse, I chose to leave that company and retired. I was to the point of ready to withdraw my services from that company on the following Monday after that situation. But it wasn't that one situation that was the problem. It was a lead up to it, right? There was a series of abuses by that person towards me over a period of time. So I got to a point where if I stayed there, I would be like continuing to condone that person's behavior towards me by simply allowing myself to stay there with that person. So, in the end of the day, it didn't matter about the money or anything. I needed to have respect for myself and honor myself and stand up for who I was for myself. And people might look at that and say I ran away. I look at it as I set myself free. I really did, actually. It took me a long time to kind of see it that way, but at the time I was distraught. But it set me free. I'm here with you today in large measure because I put myself on a different road and I found myself here after.
So here's this meme. You can't force someone to respect you, but you can refuse to be disrespected. So that's standing up for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've ever really, but you can refuse to be disrespected. Well, maybe I am refusing to allow myself to be disrespected by removing myself from that situation sometimes. I'm saying, I'm just not going to be there. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to let you disrespect me. I'm not going to give you opportunities to.
So yeah. Oop, that wasn't the one. Here's. So yeah, sometimes we just have to move on.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's whether it's a small business, a family business, or a big corporation, a lot of times money motivates people more than humanness, being human. If money is what has to be the number one thing, then our egos are going to always get in the way because money is void of those core values that we strive for here on this channel. We're certainly not getting rich doing this, right, Regina?
I'm sorry, I'm not being.
I didn't mean to drive you out of
I'm looking at comments trying to.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
We're not getting rich like doing this, right, Regina?
Hey, Gracie's here. Hi, Gracie.
Hi, Gracie.
Yeah, the anyway, I'm lost. Oh my. What are we talking about? Respect?
At least I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well,
thanks for pointing out that I wasn't paying attention.
I was saying
stars.
What I was saying, and what I was trying another way to put it was, when we put money and ego ahead of the common core values like love and kindness and truth and honesty, then respect goes out the door. It becomes something.
Well, in a lot of respects, that's very true. Money is the root of all evil. I'm so hung up watching comments at this stage of the show because there's really some good ones, and then there's some that really, don't pertain to the conversation and trying to. And so Simone, who's always seems to be on top of everything here, is pointing out how freaking lost I really am.
No, but we're affording you the chance, Regina, to include our beautiful folks in the chats, because so like between Casey and I, we're like holding the fort here for you, so it's okay, and we'll reel you back in if we need to.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
And so this is really pertinent here too amongst all of us. Is it's sad to have to quit or get fired because we try to be as authentic as we can. That's a great comment for everything, and there's no, it's kind of
funny. I called that corporation while it got traded hands and got bought out twice, actually. So, and the final version of that company, that corporation, they lost my respect. I stopped feeling like in a way, at least a part of me found them undesirable to work for. So did they entirely lose my respect? Well, I think I'm at that 20% baseline that you talked about, Casey. I'm sort of like, there's a baseline I'll bring everybody down to. I'll always keep the door open because I don't want to close the door on anything. There's always, if I close the door on the person who's still suffering and needs help because they might have hurt me by their actions, then
Well, should we close the door on anybody or any corporation or anything? Isn't there always the road to can't we get it to come back around? Can't they earn respect again by changing? Because the one thing that's constant in the world is change. And there's been many people who have changed back to being more kind. I wasn't always kind and loving, and I've changed, and I've changed from being a liar, cheat, and a thief into being a relatively honest individual who is very giving and loving. And some even say I'm kind. So is there shutting the door on others? Or
we can't allow ourselves, in my just how I see this big bad world. The day we close the door on others, we're closing the door on ourselves.
That's really small, but it says respect is how to treat every. Oh, there you go. You're really
exactly
good.
Like Francie's saying, I unconditionally respect everyone here. That's a statement that I strive for each and every day. I don't know if I'm
I like
there.
that a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I achieve
and
it.
I like Francie's statement too.
But I try.
So yeah, cool. Well, we're making progress here.
I think we are. I was a little not unsure for a while, but you know what? I feel good about the conversation so far and the comments from everybody.
Well, it seems like Pauline is on hold trying to get in touch with finding me. So I love you guys. I really do. I love everybody in this chat room and on this screen with me.
We can be real. We can be vulnerable. We can be unsure. We can be happy or angry, and we can all still be here, and we can all give each other that space.
Look at this. Simone is just like on fire today. I might not ever speak to her again. If you love me, please say $1.99 a minute for the feeling. Okay, I'm done with that, Oh, my stars.
Money can't bring you happiness, but.
So here it is. We're like an hour, 8 minutes into it, and I'm like thinking,
you're running in this
there's one more meme up here.
Winding it up soon, Regina?
I'm thinking that way, yeah. Respect people's feelings. Even if it doesn't mean anything to you, it could mean everything to them.
Yes.
You know how I'm so crabby and whatnot today, and you all kind of like have helped lift my mood to a certain extent. I mean, that is what respect can do for other people who seem to be off kilter or something out in the public. And it's just a little kindness to be respectful.
That's all it takes, just a little kindness.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, a little kindness goes a long, long ways, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it goes back to how we were saying that respect and love and kindness go hand in hand. You give a little bit, if someone's if you visibly see someone's having a bad day and you give them a little bit of respect or kindness or love, or whatever it is that you can kind of tell that they're missing, then you'll bring their mood up. It means everything to them.
Amen. Amen.
Out of respect, I walked a mile in your shoes. And though I came to scoff, I came to love you. I think I read something almost exactly like that once. So that's my quote for the day.
Excellent. Good. So here, kind of like change the subject a little bit. I think I want to take a week off.
Oh.
And do we want to do it before or after Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving's on Sunday in this country. Thanksgiving, they celebrated in Canada last month. So it's just up to
when
us.
is it coming in the US? When is it?
Not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after. So I'd either take next Sunday off or the Sunday following.
Well, why don't we take a... Actually, I have a lot going on next weekend. I'm sure I would try to fit our show in, but I know I would. But we should.
So anyway, I kind of threw that out there. I mean, the three of us can talk about it later, but I wanted to get response back from the chat room.
Oh, wow.
See if there's any.
Coming to a tent near you. Regina's Love and Kindness Tour. Coming to a tent near you.
Oh my God, it might actually happen too. You just
the
never
Sisterhood
know.
of the Traveling Pants.
We're just gonna set the world on fire. And someone once told me that if you respect a person, listen to their opinion. And if you do not respect someone, then do not listen to their opinion. And that works both ways. I love that. That's kind of cool.
Yay.
True. What we should do is just be grateful every frickin' day. When is Trans Remembrance Day? Is on the 20th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's this week.
Anything you decide is fine. Saturday the 20th. So, okay. Well, we'll just leave it up to the three of us or four of us with Christy and hammer it out offline someplace. So stay tuned. Beware that we'll try and get some
what's that old saying?
This is a good reason why to click your notification button.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, and
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And also anybody who follows the comic Facebook page, I usually try to post updates as far as what's going on. I usually try to post them to both the Facebook and the Instagram comic pages. So if you follow either of those, I will probably drop an update post there when we figure out what's going on. So just another way to communicate with the people.
Excellent. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, I am ready. I'm ready to go. So
I'm gonna say, Mama P, I love you all, everybody in the chats. So I'll see you next time, whenever that is.
Okay, see you later, Lara.
Okay.
And thank you so much. And I will remove you. Hang out in the green room for a minute. And Casey,
hi.
Nice to see you today. And I'll remove you too and see you in the green room in a minute. And all of you, take care, and I will see you on the rebound. Love you all. Love you. God, my makeup has gotten wacky. Probably the tears that I was crying. Oh dear. Anyway, hey, take care of yourselves, and we will see you all again probably next week, or maybe the week after, or whenever. Take care. Love ya. Bye-bye.